ISO 80000-8 2007 is an ISO standard entitled Quantities and Units a Euro Part 8, Acoustics, which supersedes ISO 31-7. It is a part of the group of standards called ISO IEC 80000. The standard specifies names, symbols for quantities and units of acoustics and provides definitions for these quantities and units. Contents list. The standard is divided into the following chapters: Foreword, Introduction, Scope, Normative References, Names, Symbols and Definitions. Examples: the standard includes definitions of sound pressure, sound power and sound exposure, and their corresponding levels, sound pressure level, sound power level and sound exposure level. For example, period duration, duration of one cycle of a periodic phenomenon, frequency, F equals 1 per ton, logarithmic frequency interval, G equals LB, F2 per Fahrenheit 1, angular frequency, I per mil equals 2 I euro F, wavelength, for a sinusoidal wave and in a direction perpendicular to the wavefront, distance between two successive points where at a given instant the phase differs by 2 I euro, wave number, I florin equals 1/I, angular wave number, K equals I per mil per carat, density, I equals mv, static pressure, pressure that would exist in the absence of sound waves, sound pressure, difference between instantaneous total pressure and static pressure, sound particle displacement, instantaneous displacement of a particle in a medium from what would be its position in the absence of sound waves, sound particle velocity, v equals d/dt, sound particle acceleration, a equals dv dt, sound volume velocity, surface integral of the normal component of the sound particle velocity. Over the cross-section, phase speed of sound, c equals I per mil per carat, group speed of sound, Cg equals d per mil/dk, sound energy density, time averaged sound energy in a given volume divided by that volume, sound power, through a surface, product of the sound pressure, and the component of the particle velocity. At a point on the surface in the direction normal to the surface, integrated over that surface, sound intensity, I equals PV, time averaged sound intensity, sound exposure, characteristic impedance of a medium, at a point in a non-dissipative medium and for a plane progressive wave, the quotient of the sound pressure, by the component of the sound particle velocity. In the direction of the wave propagation, acoustic impedance, at a surface, the complex quotient of the average sound pressure. Over that surface by the sound volume flow rate. Through that surface, mechanical surface impedance, at a surface, the complex quotient of the total force on the surface by the component of the average sound particle velocity. At the surface in the direction of the force, sound pressure level, sound power level, sound exposure level, attenuation coefficient, phase coefficient, propagation coefficient, dissipation factor for sound power, reflection factor for sound power, transmission factor for sound power, absorption factor for sound power, sound reduction index, equivalent absorption area of a surface or object, reverberation time. See also, ISO 80000-1 General, ISO 80000-2 Mathematical signs and symbols to be used in the natural sciences and technology, ISO 80000-3 Space and time, ISO 80000-4 Mechanics, ISO 80000-5 Thermodynamics, ISO 80000-6 Electromagnetism, ISO 80000-7 Light, ISO 80000-9 Physical Chemistry and Molecular Physics, ISO 80000-10 Atomic and Nuclear Physics, ISO 80000-11 Characteristic Numbers, ISO 80000-12 Solid-State Physics, IEC 80000-13 Information Science and Technology, IEC 80000-14 Telebiometrics related to human physiology. References